Dun 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 dun.
Negan.
Little pig, little pig.
What is he going to be doing? Okay, so
Mass deportation.
Okay, go ahead.
Yep. I believe it's gonna be mass deportation.
Okay.
Taxes, trade policy, tariffs, right? Foreign policy.
Wow, you just burned all through those. That's great.
When it comes to the immigration, people are really concerned about like the mass immigration part of it. But I think that he's probably going to start by closing the border. That's number one.
Mm-hmm.
Close the border, right?
That's the first thing he's going to do is close the border.
People are worried that the DACA, the Dreamers, are going to be like deported automatically.
He's already said they're not going to be.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. I'm saying he said that, so I'm making sure there's a lot of bad information out there. People believe that when Trump gets in office, all of a sudden they're going to have to leave their family and go to Mexico. People that have never even been to Mexico, they may have been born there, but they were raised here. That's not happening. So chill out. It's just not. Title 42, that's going to be a big thing. Travel bans, and I believe the birthright citizenship is going to be a big thing.
Okay, so let's go through. Birthright citizenship is going to be a part of the immigration policy. So let's do immigration a little bit. So what's going to happen is initially he's going to get rid of everybody we have that's being held. So all of the people who've committed crimes that are immigrants, they're going to be deported first.
Right.
Okay. Then they're going to start doing a search for people who have known committed crimes or are wanted for crimes, and there's going to be a search for those people put out.
Right.
And then things are going to get tough. I took my car to the car wash last week.
Okay.
And we have this area here. We're in Southern California, of course. And one of the car washes is, the guys who do it are obviously fresh illegal immigrants.
Right.
These are the guys who they don't speak any English. They really don't have any families or anything yet. They're young and they're just trying to work, and they pay them probably almost nothing.
Yeah. It's like slavery.
Right. Sort of. And so, and which I always tip really well because, I'm just like, my God, and so I have really a lot of empathy for anybody coming to our country to try to make a life for themselves.
Yeah.
It's not their fault that they're trying to make their life better. None of us would do it any differently.
Right.
We would all try to, we would, take axes and chisels to get through to come to America.
You kidding me? I considered it when I heard that the Biden administration was handing out like $10,000 SNAP cards. I was like, I'm going to go down there and break in.
Yeah. So what I really hope happens before Trump decides to force anybody else out of this country, okay, after he does that, I would like him to outline who should be here, who can come here legally, because right now that system is also broken. You got to know somebody. You got to be able to grease palms to get here. I know we want the best of the best from the world, but we also have to be able to make it a reasonable opportunity for people to come to this country who maybe don't have political connections in foreign countries to be able to come here.
Right.
So I really hope that he does something to make sure that some regular people can also come here and have a chance. What we want is in this country is hardworking people who want to come and love America, who want the best for themselves and their families, and aren't going to do nefarious things and try to build a life for themselves and for everybody else. Rising tide floats all boats. That's 100%. What we want here. So. So I think he's going to have a tough moment when it comes to now we got to get rid of all these other people because he already said they got to go. So I think you're going to see this system of, getting rid of the worst first. And then when it comes down to getting rid of the others, there could be some delay there. Right. There might be a point at which we just accept the fact that this has occurred and these people end up staying. And then our, kind of the framework of how we do things can kind of absorb all of the illegal immigrants that have come into this country, and we can get back to neutral, almost like when, and I don't want to put this the wrong way, when you get sick, okay, your body ends up with some, virus that comes in. And I'm not trying to say that illegal immigrants are bad or anything like that. But what I'm saying is they're not part of the normal operating system of how things work in the body. So when they come in, they screw everything up for a little while until the antibodies come in and kind of absorb it, or
they're malware until you activate McAfee.
Okay, and that may make sense to other people other than what I'm saying, but I think you guys get it. The point is they need to be the people who are going to stay, and I'm telling you, there's no way we're going to be able to take 12 million people out of this country. I don't even know if they can figure out how to find them all. But let's get rid of all the bad ones and see what happens.
Honestly, let's just start with the bad ones, closing the border, and deporting the people that are in jail for committing crimes, being held in detention centers, that kind of stuff. Let's just start with the most basic of immigration border control, because that's what's crazy is a lot of people are super excited about this, like, oh right, we're finally going to close our border. The crazy thing is this should be a normal thing. It should be complete. This shouldn't be some kind of special.
The border's not supposed to be open, guys.
Yeah, it's not a special consideration. No, the border's not supposed to be open. Criminals aren't allowed to just come in and do whatever they want. This is a normal thing for countries to secure their borders. It's not. I
mean, even when people came in legally, right, to our country, they came in through Ellis Island, Statue of Liberty, all that stuff. There's a processing. There's a processing that has to occur. People just don't walk in across the border. Anyway, so that's a big part of what's going to happen on day one. Drill Baby Drill is going to happen. He's going to be, removing all of the barriers that are keeping companies from being able to drill. What's that going to do? It's going to lower gas prices, which in turn is going to lower the price of groceries in the grocery store, because part of the reason why grocery store prices are so high is because it costs the energy prices are so high for these things. So the prices on everything should start to come down a lot. I do want to make sure careful. Don't expect like everything to drop in half by price. Like, don't think you're going to wake up tomorrow and all of a sudden milk's going to be $2 and gas is going to be $2.50. That is not what's going to happen.
It's going to take a minute. Yeah.
It's going to happen slowly. And honestly, there's going to be a lot of corporations and companies who are going to want to fight lowering prices, because who wants to give up money when you're getting it? So it's going to be, you're going to have to give time. So Trump's going to do this. And here's what's going to happen. In the first 3 months that he's in office, people are like, okay, Mr. President, where are the prices? The Democrats and the liberal media is going to be like, see, you didn't do it. You did it. Nothing happened. So, but you got to wait, because prices are going to come down, but it's going to take capitalism and the free market to like slowly make that occur. And you'll see prices start to drop, and you're going to have to pay attention to that. So,
yeah, it's not going to be an overnight thing. Our economy is not going to roar back to life the second Trump gets in office. It's a ship. It's a big giant ship that has to be turned around slowly, because if you try to do it too quick, you're going to break the ship. But I'm still excited for 4 years of righting the ship at the very least.
It's better than where we were going last year.
I'm into that, dude.
Regardless of what happens, it's better.
Yeah.
So
my God, it was. One thing we're going to see pretty quick. We're going to see the stock market go up pretty quick.
We'll see. A lot of that is already priced in. The stock market started going crazy right after he was elected.
That's true.
Back in November. So it's already priced in a lot of it. We had a huge rally going into the end of the year. So I actually think it's going to be kind of, because they already know some of the things he's going to do, and the stock market is really good at figuring that in advance. So I think we're going to have a lull in the stock market for a while, and then when we actually see companies start coming back with all of how much they're earning, then you're going to start to see the stock market go back up again.
Yeah.
Birthright citizenship. If you guys don't know what that means,
yeah, I want to know what that means.
Okay, so birthright
I don't fully understand it.
So if a pregnant illegal immigrant comes into this country and has their baby 5 minutes later across the border, that baby is a citizen of our country.
Right.
That's not normal. So that's something that people say, well, it's always been that way. That's actually not true. So that was implemented much further into our country. And I think what's going to happen is he's going to end it. And it's a good point, because you're going to deport the mother, and so what happens is the baby ends up here, and they're like, well, we can't really get rid of the mother and father because the baby's a citizen.
Right.
So they used to call them anchor babies.
Right.
They keep you there. Well, Trump's going to end that, and they're going to say, well, we're really sorry. Thank you for coming here. You didn't come here the right way. So you and your baby are going to leave and go back to where you came from.
Now, what if they're already here?
If it's already happened as part of the immigration process,
Right. Like if they, like, what
I
if
don't
they
think you
what
can-
if they came in last week and had their
Yeah.
baby?
you can't. Well, I don't think you can, retroactively change.
Of
the
course
law.
not. Yeah. Okay.
So, it'll be from the moment he signs it moving forward. And then I'm sure there's going to be legal battles. There's going to be lots of legal battles.
mean-
It's going to go all to the Supreme Court, I'm sure.
There's no way that works like that. Like I can't go to China, have a kid, and my kid all of a sudden be a Chinese citizen, right?
Right. But China is also, not a democracy.
China is asshole. It's a
I feel
meme.
like I've heard that before.
It's a
What's that?
meme, yeah. It's a meme.
Oh, okay. So we got that. He's gonna the big one, right? He's gonna pardon January 6th defendants. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
He's
What
not gonna
the hell? There's people sitting in jail still for trespassing.
Well, here's the thing. He's not gonna get rid of all of them. He's not gonna pardon all of them. Okay. He's gonna pardon the ones that where nothing violent occurred.
Right.
I believe what's going to happen is he's going to pardon all those people first, and then they're going to take a look case by case. I think they're going to have the Attorney General Bondi. Which by the way, she did a really great job in her confirmation hearing. She stood up to every one of those senators, and she really gave it to him. I think she's going to be a great Attorney General. And once she looks at it, we'll determine, what happened. We still don't know how much the FBI informants were involved. There were more than 20 FBI informants.
Yes, and this is what drives me nuts about J6 is there are people sitting in jail that have yet to even go before a judge, and there's all this fairy dust, for lack of a better word, ambiguousness around how many FBI agents were there. I don't understand why they can't just say, "Hey, we had this many FBI agents there. Here's their names. Let you go. Let's see who started what. Who incited what.
But you know why?
I know
It's
why,
gonna
but
be a
it's
black
but it's
mark.
pathetically corrupt.
It's going to be a black mark on that administration. It's going to be a
100%.
black mark on the FBI. And that's the problem. And so the people running the FBI, of course, through the last 4-year term with Biden, they weren't on the MAGA side or the conservative side. They were on the liberal side.
Right.
So now it's going to take a Bondi and to come in and sort out everything that happened. And, it's going to be tough for her, because if you think that all of a sudden everybody inside these 3-letter agencies are just going to roll over and okay, here you go. Here's everything bad we did. These people are going to hide shit. She's going to have her own teams. They're going to have to go in and figure it out. It's not going to happen right away. So be prepared for that. Some of the J6ers are going to stay in prison probably for the next 2 years, in my opinion, until they get this figured out. But a lot of them are going to go on the first day. A lot of them are going to be out. So that's one of the things he's going to do.
So someone
I
in the
don't
chat,
know why.
someone in the chat said, "Well, go ahead."
I just don't know why I automatically sound like Trump sometimes when I talk.
It's hard not to.
It's really hard not to. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So Michael said in the chat, "Honestly, guys, this is like the Death Star blew up and the good guys won, and I have something for you for that. Highly accurate right here." So 2016 was New Hope.
What is this?
2020 was The Empire
saw
Strikes
this more.
Back. And now he's got that's the mugshot photo. And
Okay.
here we are, the villain arc, Return of the Jedi,
yes.
looking striking.
So is this like the overall theme of the movie? Is that what it's supposed to be like?
Right. Like Empire Strikes Back was like the good guys lost, blah blah blah.
Oh, I got it. Okay. All right.
Hit the wrong button there.
Yeah, well, it all depends what he does. So let's be real honest about something here. He now has 4 years to do it, and I think he's prepared. I think he's ready. But he's got to do it, and he's got to do it right. So just because he's been voted in, everything's not solved yet. So they're still yet to be determined. I mean, I really hope he succeeds. And it's what our country needs. But I just don't want to start cheering too soon. You know what I mean?
Right.
We got to wait and see what happens. Let's see what else he's going to do. So the Ukraine war, I don't think he can executive order anything with the Ukraine war. He has promised that he would get it settled before becoming president. I know he's already talked to Zelensky and Putin.
Right.
before becoming president. I think everyone understands the path to the war ending. I think what's going to have to happen is we're going to have a ceasefire, and then we're going to have some sort of agreement that Ukraine doesn't join NATO and that Ukraine stays a neutral country.
Right.
I'm not going to get into whether or not it's good or bad or whatever. It's bad that Russia decided they wanted to go in and take Ukraine. I think it was an excuse. It's not like Ukraine joined NATO. And listen, the U.S. would not want Canada or Mexico to be in the China-Russia alliance. Okay? I'm just saying we wouldn't. Right. Okay? And I'm not saying that we would necessarily invade Mexico or Canada, but we would be very uncomfortable
in
that situation. Right. So my point is when you kind of think of it from that point of view, you can see why Russia did what they did. It's still fucked up and not cool that it happened. Lots of people have died, and there was another way. So the jury's still out. Does Putin just trying to take over all these countries again to make Russia beautiful and great again, like it was during the
make Russia great again.
Make Russia great again. And try to take back all the Soviet Union countries again, or is he really just worried about NATO expansion? I think it's a little bit of an excuse and bullshit. But if Trump can get them to at least ceasefire and start talking about it, perhaps Ukraine has to give up a portion of its country, which it had already given up the Donbass region. So we'll have to see what happens. It depends on if they want to continue fighting. Either way, our companies are making a whole bunch of money from this war. So
facts.
Tariffs. We'll see about tariffs. I still think people think he's going to start implementing tariffs on day one. I think tariffs are a negotiating strategy. So we'll see if he actually implements tariffs on the first day, or if he just threatens them and says, look, this is what you have to do in order for us to not to put a tariff on you. I saw the other day that Canada said, oh, we're going to tariff you. We're going to tariff you. I'm like,
okay.
All right.
Yeah, well, go for it, bro.
But it actually made me wonder, like, do we have something? Do we get something in Canada besides comedians?
Go ahead.
And movie people?
Tariff us.
No, I'm just saying, is there a commodity from Canada? And maybe I'm not aware of this. I couldn't find anything. Maple syrup, I think, might be one of them. Is there a commodity that they can tariff us on, that we receive? Now, if they tariff U.S. goods that are coming to Canada, they could do that, but it's by way of China right now. So we'll have to see how that works out.
Go ahead, Canada. Go ahead. I dare you.
Listen, we love Canada.
Huh?
We love Canada.
Tariff us, bro. Do it.
But just remember, Trump is threatening. Okay, negotiate. He's threatening. Now you got to remember, Canada, you guys are getting a whole bunch of free money from the U.S. So just got to find a better way to work that out. Same with Mexico. Canceling the electric vehicle mandate. So in 2021, Biden did sign an executive order setting a nationwide goal aiming for 50% of all new cars and trucks sold by 2030 to be zero emission. So half of all of our cars were supposed to be zero emission in the next 5 years. Trump is probably going to nix that one out.
And you want to know why? Because we don't have the infrastructure to support. We don't have the infrastructure to support that demand.
Mm-hmm.
And number one. Number two, guess where most of the energy comes from when you charge your EV?
Oh, yeah. No,
fossil fuels.
It does. You're right.
It's all kabuki theater with this whole EV thing. Because we do not have the infrastructure to support it, A, and B, and we're still using oil. You just don't see it when you're charging your car. I'm not against EVs. I'm just saying, like, let's not pretend that you're not filling up on fossil fuels, because that energy is coming from somewhere, and solar accounts for a tiny infinite percentage of what we actually power our grid with. So,
very true.
Here comes the